everybody, it's Kathy here, and today I am joining you at Go Create Craft with a new layout using the Kaleidoscope range, because you all know, if you've been watching me, I love bright colours. So I've printed this one out onto an A3 sheet, so when I trim it down, it is 11 1/4 by 11, which is beautiful for a layout. And I have created a 1-inch frame with black cardstock just to tone down that brightness. And that's just a bit of a hint or a tip to you. If you have really, really bright paper and you want to tone it down, use black, because it will bring the colours down and centralise it. I'm going to use this chipboard title today, and I am ombreing it with my Distress Oxides. And so we're using some fossilized amber, that's the yellowy goldy colour. We're using seedless preserves, which is the purple colour, and I've used pine needles, which is the middle greeny colour. Now they're just giving me that ombre effect down the chipboard, and it's a great way to colour your chipboard, nice and easy. And I'm just going to put it to the side to allow it to cure and dry. So now that I've done that, I'm going to mat my photos, and my photos here are 6x4s. They are full size, so I'm cutting mats of 6 1/4 by 4 1/4, and I'm just going to put them onto the layout, and they are in the black as well, so that brings that right down. Now I have these two other complementary sheets from the Kaleidoscope range, and like I said, I just love this range. It is fantastic. Nat has it in her digitals, and you won't be disappointed. Seriously, they are very, very good to print out. They print out nicely. They remind me of a jelly pad. I love it. And what I'm doing here is I'm cutting them into 1/2-inch strips, because we're going to be layering them up across the layout. Now, this one here is very effective. I like this cross pattern, and in the corner over to the left, which you see right now, I'm going to cut this down, and I'm going to use that as a journaling tag in a moment. I'll show you how. So with the strips, I'm going to fishtail each of the ends of them, because I'm going to use them as a feature on the layout, and I'm doing it in the multicoloured one and the orange. So I went off screen and finished that up and taped them up ready to be used. You didn't need to see me doing that. That was an event that you didn't need to sit through. So what I'm doing here is I'm now actually layering up those fishtails one at a time. I'm going from the orange colour through to the multicoloured ones, and I'm doing them at varying lengths across the page. Now you will see me cut them down. I did this one because somehow that one didn't cut straight and it was a bit off, but that's all right. I need them at the top there. I'm moving them across the page, as you can see, so that they do have a different length on either side. Some I'm going to do long, some I'm going to do short, and you'll see that I'm trimming it down the middle. That doesn't matter with that gap there, because my photo will cover that up, and I won't tell if you don't tell. So I'm just making sure that both sides are staggered so that they have different lengths on either side, and the fishtails are all going over to the left. This is just a little trick to do if you want to extend your papers, is that you choose where your photo is going to sit, and you split it in the middle, and that allows you to go right across the length. So I'm just putting in this last piece here, and I just love the colours. Look at that. It just marries the photo so well. Now these photos are of my daughter and I at the Easter Fair this year, and I don't know about you, but there's something about being at a fair or at the show, and the food there, you wouldn't eat it any other time. Like, seriously, you don't. But Dagwood dogs and chip on a stick, just perfect when you're at the show or at a fair. For some reason, it seems to be okay to eat it there. And I can tell you that the Dagwood dog is always my favourite. So I'm just now layering up more of these fishtail banners. This time I'm doing them to the top, and that's where my title is going to sit. So it's an anchor point for my title. And I just love how the colours are complementary, and they don't cancel out the colours underneath, but they just sit beautifully together. I'm just trimming that down so that it goes across the layout. Now I did put those fishtails right over to the black edge, and that was to keep that drag across the page so that the eye is there. And there's my ombre title sitting on that anchor point there, which you can see works so well on this layout. Now, you would not think that putting orange onto the reds and orange, you'd notice the difference between them, but you do, and it looks really effectively on this page, and it's simple. It's not a hard technique. It's a simple technique that adds movement and direction on the page because of the way the fishtails are angling across the layout. Now, once again, I'm extending that there, and that's because I know my journaling tag that I created is going to sit there, and that will cover up that gap. So I'm just finishing it off, and then you'll notice that I'm making sure that I am doing uneven numbers for my fishtails because odds are the best for the eye. They're pleasing. Nature does everything in odds, so for that reason, it's really good when you're scrapping to remember to do things in odds. So I've created that tag. So what I'm doing is I've done it 2.5 inches by 3 inches, and I'm just looking for the right backing, and I do realise that it needs to be on the black just to keep it consistent with the layout, but also to tone down the colour. Now, you can have a very busy layout if you want a very busy layout, or you, like I said, use the black to tone it down, and then that actually calms it down, and you can actually see how this now all looks quite balanced. Using foam dots, I'm just going to pop up this tag here when it's finished, and I just wrote in some journaling about the food that you eat at a fair that you would never eat anywhere else, but it just tastes so much better when you're there at the fair. I'm putting those foam dots there. That's now popped up, and it's another element on the layout. I have gone ahead and die cut using my metal dies some hearts, and they're in the black as well, bringing that toned colour down. And they're just going to be my clusters, and you'll see how I build these around the layout. I have the big ones. I'm putting 2 big ones onto the layout, and then I'm using these medium-sized ones as well. And I'm popping all of those up on foam tape, and it's just a matter of moving them around and finding the right place for them to sit on the layout. Now, I do want those medium size with the big one to be a bundle of 3 because odds, remember, odds are very, very, very pleasing to the eye. And so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to punch out some little ones. So I have a really little punch that will punch out tiny hearts, and I'm going to use those as well. Instead of Nuvo drops, I'm going to use the hearts on the page. So I've put one onto that tag to dress the tag, and I've added 2 little ones down there. I'm making a cluster of 3 to the top, and then I will add some more around just because I want them to be in the odds and finishing off those clusters. So I added another one in there, and then I'm going to add 2 to the top there so that you can see that that now is a 3, and I've got 3 at the bottom of that tag. I have 3 at the top, and this one here I'm going to cut out another one so that I can have 5 in this little cluster here. So that's how I'm balancing it out, and that's how it's all coming together. Just writing in that this is the Luddenham Easter Show or Easter Fair for this year. And then to finish it off, I'm just going to add a faux stitched border, and that's drawing that black together. And faux stitching is always a great way to finish off your borders. It's nice and easy, and it just it gives it that finessing at the end, I feel. That's my opinion, because I struggle with having a raw border touching your framing, and so a faux stitched border is a great way of making sure that the layout feels finished. Anyone that's been watching my videos, and I hope you do, and I hope you will follow me over on my channel, that this is always my thing, that I like to finish off my layouts with my borders being complete. So that's how it's all come together today for Go Create Craft. I've used Nat's beautiful printables here. You can download them and do that as well through Nat. Go and check out the Go Create Craft shop. I'm sure you will find plenty there to help you get your creative happening. I know I do. I'm looking forward to my next layout, which once again I will surprise you in a couple of weeks' time. And thanks for looking today. Hope I've done something to earn a thumbs up from you. And like I said, don't forget to head over to my channel, Kathy Loves to Scrap, and follow me for more inspiration and more creative ideas. Happy scrapping, everybody. Remember, one more layout in your album is another page scrapped and another bit of history recorded. Happy scrapping, everyone.